In Greek mythology, Eris is often remembered as the goddess of discord, but few people know the reason behind her chaotic actions. From the beginning, Eris was a marginalized figure in the Greek pantheon. Unlike her Olympian counterparts, who were celebrated in festivals and rituals, she was associated with conflict and disharmony, a role she never chose. Eris's sorrow began with the lack of recognition. Despite being a goddess, her presence was neither requested nor valued in divine councils or celebrations. This exclusion reached its peak at the wedding of Peleus and Thetis, where Eris was the only goddess deliberately left out. This act of disdain left a deep mark on her spirit. In response, she created the legendary golden apple inscribed with, "To the fairest," and threw it among the goddesses Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite, igniting a rivalry that ultimately led to the Trojan War. This act, while chaotic, was not driven by pure malice. For Eris, the apple was more than a tool of discord. It was her way of forcing others to acknowledge her existence. Excluded from moments of harmony, she became the embodiment of disorder, believing that chaos was the only way to be seen. Behind her reputation as a bringer of strife, Eris reveals a universal truth. The longing for belonging and recognition can drive even the most powerful beings to extreme actions. Her story serves as a reminder that chaos often stems from the pain of rejection. Typhon, the most feared monster in Greek mythology, was not born as a destructive creature. Created by Gaia, Mother Earth, and Tartarus, the primordial abyss, he was conceived as a response to the defeat of the Titans by the Olympians. However, his very existence was marked by betrayal and manipulation, transforming him into a symbol of chaos. After the Titanomachy, Gaia was enraged at Zeus for imprisoning her Titan children in Tartarus. In her grief and thirst for vengeance, she created Typhon as a weapon to destroy Zeus and free the Titans. Yet Typhon was more than a monster. He was a divine creation, endowed with unparalleled strength and intellect. Despite his might, he was never treated as anything more than a tool for vengeance. When Typhon confronted Zeus, he nearly destroyed the king of the gods, tearing out his sinews and leaving him vulnerable. However, the Olympian gods united to defeat him, imprisoning him beneath Mount Etna, where he would remain for eternity. For Typhon, this defeat was not only physical but deeply emotional. He realized that he had been abandoned by his mother Gaia and rejected by all the gods. Typhon did not choose chaos. He was thrust into it by a mother who used him as a tool and by a fate that treated him as a monster. His wrath against Zeus was, in truth, an expression of his pain and resentment. His story reminds us that even the most destructive forces can arise from rejection and heartbreak. Loki, the trickster god of Norse mythology, is one of the most complex and misunderstood figures in the myths. While often depicted as a villain, his actions are deeply rooted in feelings of rejection and isolation. Loki was not born in Asgard. He was a giant adopted by Odin and was treated as an outsider from the start. Despite his sharp intellect and valuable contributions to the gods, such as the creation of Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, Loki was never fully accepted in Asgard. He was constantly reminded of his giant origins, making him feel inferior and out of place. His relationship with the gods was ambiguous. While he helped in critical moments, he also caused chaos that endangered everyone. This duality reflects his internal struggle between wanting to belong and his anger over the rejection he faced. The ultimate betrayal occurred when Loki orchestrated the death of Balder, the god beloved by all. While his actions were driven by resentment, they were also a form of protest against a system that marginalized him. After this event, Loki was bound in a cave, with venom dripping onto his face from a serpent, until Ragnarok, where he would become one of the main antagonists. Loki's chaos was not born from a desire for destruction but as a reaction to rejection and the pain of never being accepted by the group he had aided so many times. His story serves as a reminder that abandonment and exclusion can turn even the brightest minds into forces of destruction. In Egyptian mythology, Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess, is often remembered for her devastating fury. However, her wrath was not a choice but a burden imposed upon her by Ra, the sun god. When humanity began to disrespect Ra, he created Sekhmet as an instrument of punishment, tasked with exterminating mortals who defied divine order. Sekhmet carried out her mission with ferocity, destroying entire cities and spreading terror. However, her rage soon spiraled out of control, nearly wiping out all of humanity. To stop the slaughter, Ra intoxicated Sekhmet with beer dyed red, making her believe it was blood. This trick pacified her thirst for destruction but left Sekhmet marked as a goddess associated with chaos. Despite this, Sekhmet was not solely a goddess of destruction. She was also a protector, revered for her healing abilities and her role in maintaining balance. Her transformation into a symbol of chaos was the result of a mission that should never have been hers. Created to destroy, she was distanced from her true essence, becoming a feared figure instead of a venerated one. Sekhmet's chaos reflects the burden of carrying impossible expectations. Her story teaches us that even destructive forces can arise from obligations that distort their original purpose. Apep, the serpent of chaos in Egyptian mythology, was the eternal enemy of Ra, the sun god. Representing darkness and primordial chaos, Apep constantly sought to devour Ra's solar bark during its nightly journey through the underworld, symbolizing eclipses and storms. However, Apep's origins are not rooted in pure evil but in isolation imposed by the deities of light. According to the myths, Apep was one of the primordial forces that existed before creation. When Ra brought order to the universe, he relegated Apep to the shadows, confining him to chaos. The serpent, once part of the cosmic balance, was condemned to absolute darkness. This exile transformed Apep into an unrelenting foe of light, striving to restore primordial chaos as a protest against his exclusion. Apep's chaos is not mere senseless destruction, it is a cry against abandonment. His battle with Ra embodies a deep yearning to break the cycle of rejection and to once again be recognized as an essential force within the cosmic balance. Tiamat, the primordial goddess of Mesopotamian mythology, is often portrayed as the embodiment of chaos and the saltwater seas. However, her transformation into a chaotic figure began with the betrayal of those she created. As the mother of all gods, Tiamat symbolized fertility and creation, yet she bore the weight of being abandoned by her own children. Initially, Tiamat lived in harmony with Apsu, the god of freshwater, and together they birthed the first gods. However, these gods rebelled against Apsu, leading to his death. Enraged and betrayed, Tiamat resolved to wage war against her children, creating monstrous beings to destroy them. This conflict culminated in her defeat by Marduk, who used her body to form the heavens and the earth. Tiamat's descent into chaos was not by choice but a response to a series of betrayals and losses. Her story is more than just an epic battle. It is a profound reflection on the cost of creation and the burden of abandonment. In Hindu mythology, Shiva is known as the destroyer, but his destruction is regarded as essential for the universe's rebirth and balance. However, this perspective of Shiva as a destructive force has been misinterpreted by many, turning him into a feared figure rather than a revered one. His disappointment lies in the fact that, despite his actions being for the greater good, he is often misunderstood. Shiva is a deity who isolates himself in deep meditation, seeking wisdom and equilibrium, yet his acts of destruction are frequently seen as chaos and violence. In myths such as the destruction of the demon Tripura, Shiva performs his cosmic dance, the Tandava, to annihilate evil and restore order. Even so, he is feared, while his transformative role is overlooked. The chaos associated with Shiva is not an act of cruelty but one of renewal. His story teaches us that destruction, when understood in its proper context, is a necessary path to balance and creation. Shiva's disappointment reflects humanity's tendency to fear what it cannot comprehend. The stories of the gods of chaos reveal that even the most destructive forces have their reasons and motivations. Behind every act of chaos lies disappointment, pain, and difficult choices. Deities like Eris, Loki, and Tiamat were not born to destroy but were shaped by circumstances that led them to challenge the balance of the cosmos. These tales offer a powerful lesson. Chaos is not inherently evil. It is part of a cycle of transformation and renewal. Often, what is seen as destruction is, in truth, a reaction to injustices and losses endured. This perspective challenges us to understand the motives behind actions rather than judge solely by appearances. Did you enjoy uncovering the motivations of the gods of chaos? Subscribe to the channel for more mythological insights like this one. Leave a like and share it with others who love mythology. Don't forget to comment, which of these gods did you find most fascinating? What other mythological stories would you like to explore? Your engagement makes our content even better. See you next time.